Hello, my beautiful trailblazing Aries souls, and welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. I am so glad you've been guided here today because the universe is calling to you, whispering secrets of a profound and beautiful transformation that you are at the very heart of. I want you to take a deep cleansing breath with me. Breathe in the fire of your own magnificent spirit and breathe out any doubt, because what we are about to explore is something truly extraordinary, a cosmic story that is unfolding right now in your life. Have you had this feeling lately? A subtle sense that your energy, your very presence, is creating ripples in someone else's world. A sense that a man in your orbit is changing in ways you can't quite put your finger on. If your heart is whispering yes, then you are in exactly the right place, because right now, without even realizing it, you are teaching a man a lesson so profound. It is rearranging the very fabric of his soul. And here is the most beautiful part. My dear Aries, you are not even trying. You are not giving lectures or offering advice. You are simply existing. You are breathing. You are speaking. You are moving through the world in your rawest, most unapologetically authentic Aries truth. And for this man, it is like witnessing a supernova for the very first time. It is brilliant, it is breathtaking, and it is irrevocably changing his inner landscape. Before we dive into the heart of this cosmic phenomenon, I want to invite you to become a part of our journey here at Astrology Unlocked. If this message already resonates deep within your spirit, please take a moment to press that subscribe button. We are building a community of souls who are ready to unlock their highest potential, and I want to make sure you never miss these life-altering updates. And tell me, have you sensed this shift in someone around you? Let me know in the comments below with a simple "I feel the change." Your story is part of a larger cosmic tapestry, and your confirmation helps others feel seen on their own path. Now let's talk about this man. This isn't just any random person who has drifted into your life. Oh no, the universe is far more intentional than that. This is a soul who has spent a lifetime, perhaps many lifetimes, navigating the world through a carefully constructed labyrinth of masks. He is a master of subtle charm, a virtuoso of social diplomacy, an expert in the art of saying precisely what people want to hear to keep the waters calm and to get what he desires. He has built a fortress around his heart, a fortress made of superficiality and carefully managed perceptions. He is a man who has learned to be whoever he needs to be, to avoid one thing at all costs: true, unfiltered, raw vulnerability. His system has been flawless. He has glided through life, collecting accolades, friendships, and relationships without ever having to truly expose the person behind the curtain. He has existed in a world of muted colors, of polite conversations, of connections that go only so deep and no deeper. It has been a safe existence, but my beautiful Aries, it has been a deeply unfulfilling one. And then you arrived. You with the fiery heart of a pioneer and the spirit of a warrior of truth. You didn't just walk into his life, you blazed into it like a meteor, illuminating every shadow, every corner where he had hidden his true self. You see, Aries, you don't have the time or the patience for the games he has perfected. You are not a being of subtle hints or veiled meanings. You are a force of nature, a being of pure, unadulterated truth. And when your fire met his carefully constructed world of smoke and mirrors, it was a moment of cosmic alchemy. For the first time in his entire adult life, this man is being compelled on a soul level to be real. Because with you, fiery Aries, there is no gray area. There is no middle ground where he can hide. There are no edited versions or watered-down pleasantries. You demand simply by being you that he show up as he truly is, or you simply cannot connect. Your energy, your very frequency repels falsehood. It's like trying to mix oil and water. His superficiality simply cannot bond with your authenticity. Can you imagine the beautiful, controlled chaos that this is creating within him? It is an internal earthquake, a magnificent storm that is shaking the very foundations of his identity. He is discovering emotional landscapes within himself he never knew existed. He is being forced to feel things with an intensity he has expertly managed to numb and avoid for decades. He is confronting a silence that is filled not with peace, but with the deafening roar of his own suppressed truths, all because you are holding up a blazing mirror to his soul. Have you noticed it? Have you seen the subtle signs of this incredible inner revolution? Think about it for a moment. Have there been instances where he seems to act in ways that are completely out of character? Perhaps moments of uncharacteristic stillness after you've shared an unfiltered opinion, as if your words are echoing in chambers of his soul that have been locked for years. Have you caught a different look in his eyes, a fleeting glimpse of raw vulnerability, of a deep internal struggle? As if for a split second, the mask has slipped, and he is wondering not just who you are, but who he is in your presence. These are not your imagination, dear Aries. These are the precious, powerful moments where the lesson you are teaching is sinking in, where your brilliant, authentic light is creating cracks in the emotional armor he has spent a lifetime building. The lesson, the grand cosmic truth you are unknowingly teaching him is this: that a real, vibrant, soul-fulfilling life requires breathtaking courage. That true intimacy, the kind his soul has been silently screaming for, can only blossom when two people have the bravery to show up completely and utterly, without filters, without masks, without a pre-approved script. You are teaching him that true love, real connection, is not a game of conquest or a performance to be perfected. It is not about impressing someone or managing their perception of you. It is about the sacred act of allowing yourself to be truly seen, including all the messy, imperfect, beautiful, and shadowed parts you have desperately tried to hide from the world. And my friends, this lesson is simultaneously terrifying and liberating this man. It is a cosmic paradox unfolding within him. For his entire life, he has curated a gallery of superficial relationships, connections where he was always in control, where he could manage the narrative, where he could keep people at the precise, safe distance that protected his fragile core. But you, with your natural fiery directness and your radiant spirit, you have completely and utterly dismantled that system. With you, he cannot maintain his calculated distance. Your warmth, your energy naturally draws him closer. He cannot control how you perceive him because you are not looking at the mask. You are speaking directly to the soul behind it. He cannot use the well-worn tricks and charming maneuvers that have always worked with everyone else. They simply bounce off your authentic shield. And so this is forcing him to stand at a crossroads he has never faced before. It is a monumental choice, a defining moment in his spiritual journey. He must either take the most terrifying leap of faith of his life to genuinely open his heart and risk being seen and possibly rejected for the person he truly is, or he must walk away from the most authentic, electrifying, and soul-awakening connection he has ever had the privilege to experience. It is a petrifying choice for a soul who has equated vulnerability with weakness his entire life. But it is also quite beautifully the very choice that could save him. It could save him from a lifetime of quiet desperation, of empty connections, of a life lived in the shallow end of the emotional pool. For my beautiful Aries souls, born between March 21st and March 31st, this man is likely a presence that has entered your life with the force of a whirlwind, someone you may have only recently met, but whose impact has felt immediate and incredibly significant. For those born between April 1st and April 10th, this may be someone who has been a part of your world for some time, a friend or a colleague, but it is only now, in this powerful cosmic moment, that the dynamic is shifting, forcing him to shed his old skin in your presence. And for my trailblazing Aries born between April 11th and April 20th, this man may be someone you believed you knew inside and out, perhaps a long-term partner or a close confidant, but he is now revealing layers of himself and of his past conditioning that you never imagined existed. Regardless of your specific situation, my dear friends, the divine pattern is the same. Your authentic fiery presence is acting as a sacred blazing mirror for this man. It is not a cruel mirror, but it is an honest one. It is showing him everything he has been masterfully avoiding. It is illuminating the vast cavernous gap between the person he pretends to be, to win approval, and the magnificent, powerful soul that resides within. And this revelation, this grand awakening, is sparking an internal revolution that will change the trajectory of his life forever. Now, Aries, I want to pause and ask you a question that cuts right to the heart of this entire cosmic experience. I want you to tune in to your intuition, that fiery inner compass that never leads you astray. Have you been feeling like someone in your immediate circle is going through these strange, almost Jekyll and Hyde changes? One moment, he is the familiar person you've always known, and the next, he seems lost, vulnerable, or even frustrated, like a man grappling with an invisible force. Have you noticed those charged silences that hang in the air after you've spoken your truth? Have you seen reactions from him that seem completely disproportionate to what is happening on the surface, as if your words triggered a deep, hidden wound or a profound realization? If you recognize these signs, I want you to know with every fiber of your being that you are not imagining things. Your intuition is spot on. You are a divine witness to the sacred and often painful transformation of a soul who is being forced to confront his own authenticity, all because of the incredible power of your presence. And if this is resonating with you, if this story is echoing in the chambers of your heart, I want you to do something for me, for yourself, and for the other Aries souls in our community. I want you to go to the comments right now and simply write, "I am the catalyst for change." You don't need to share any details. You don't need to expose any secrets. Just claim your role in this beautiful cosmic dance. Because do you know what will happen when you do? Other Aries, magnificent souls just like you, who are going through this exact same bewildering experience, will see your comment. They will read your words and feel a wave of validation and relief wash over them. They will realize they are not alone. They will understand that they are not the only ones unconsciously sparking these profound changes in the people they care about. Your simple, powerful confirmation might be the very thing someone else needs to hear today, to trust their own intuition, to understand that what they are experiencing is real, it is powerful, and it is part of a divine plan. So please take a moment now. Type or copy and paste, "I am the catalyst for change," because your experience is sacred, your perception is valid, and your voice can empower others to stand in their own truth. The lesson you are teaching this man, my dear Aries, it goes so much deeper than just romantic relationships. You are in essence showing him a completely new way of being in the world, a way where truth is not a weapon to be feared or a weakness to be hidden, but a beacon to be embraced. You are showing him that vulnerability is not a flaw. It is the highest form of courage. You are demonstrating that to feel deeply, to live with an open heart, is not a risk to be avoided, but the only way to truly fully live. This man has likely spent the entirety of his life skillfully sidestepping difficult conversations, gracefully dodging moments of true raw intimacy, and expertly keeping all of his connections floating on the surface where he felt in control and safe from the turbulent waters of real emotion. But with you, Aries, there is no surface. There is only the magnificent fiery core. There is only depth, and he is being compelled to dive headfirst into emotional oceans he never even knew existed within his own being. Have you seen it? Have you noticed how he sometimes grows quiet, almost reverently? So after you've spoken about something that truly matters to you, how he seems to be processing your words on a level that transcends mere logic, as if your frequency is recalibrating his entire operating system. Those are the moments. Those are the sacred moments where the lesson is truly anchoring in his soul, where his old way of being is being lovingly and sometimes forcefully reshaped. He is fundamentally relearning what it means to connect, what intimacy feels like, and what a human relationship can be when it is built on a foundation of unshakable truth. This transformation taking place within him is not easy. It is not a comfortable, linear process. Let us be clear about that. He is being asked to dismantle an identity that he has painstakingly built over many years, brick by brick. He is having to question every assumption he has ever held about himself, about love, and about what it takes to be a strong man. He is discovering, perhaps to his own horror, that much of what he always believed about relationships was actually based on deep-seated fear, cleverly disguised as pragmatism or logic. And the most potent, most magical part of this entire cosmic process, you are not doing anything special to make this happen. You are not strategizing. You are not manipulating. You are simply being you. You are responding to life with your characteristic beautiful honesty. You are reacting to the world with your natural passionate intensity. You are connecting in the only way your fiery soul knows, how completely, deeply, and without reservation. But for a soul who has always lived on the periphery in the shallows, your authenticity is nothing short of revolutionary. It is as if you are speaking a vibrant, passionate language his heart has always yearned to understand, but he never had the courage to learn. It is as if you are showing him a brilliant, sun-drenched country he has always dreamed of visiting, but was always convinced was inaccessible to someone like him. Perhaps the most profound lesson you are teaching him, the one that will echo in his soul for eternity, is that he does not need to be perfect to be loved. He does not need to have all the answers to be respected. He does not need to hide his imperfections, his fears, or his insecurities to be accepted. You, by your very example of living so openly and courageously, are showing him that real, enduring relationships are built on the bedrock of truth, not on the shifting sandcastles of carefully managed impressions. My beautiful Aries, this man is discovering that he has been afraid of all the wrong things. His whole life, he has been terrified of being vulnerable, of admitting he doesn't know something, of revealing that he sometimes feels lost, insecure, or overwhelmed. But through his connection with you, he is learning that these are not the things that push people away. What truly creates distance, what truly starves a connection, is the falsehood. It is the superficiality. It is the refusal to drop the mask and truly connect soul to soul. He is having the profound and painful realization that for all these years, He has wasted so much precious time and life force trying to be impressive instead of just being real. Trying to appear as if he had everything perfectly under control instead of having the courage to admit when he needed help. Trying to be the person he thought people wanted him to be, instead of taking the sacred journey to discover who he truly was beneath it all. The revelation that is dawning within him is so powerful that it is not only changing how he relates to you, it is changing how he relates to every single person in his life. He is beginning to look at his other friendships, his family dynamics, his professional relationships, and see where else he has been keeping people on the surface. He is likely wondering, with a sense of profound grief, how many opportunities for real, genuine connection he has missed because he was too busy polishing his mask, too busy trying to manage impressions. And this, my friends, is causing a complete and total reorganization of his entire value system. Things he once considered paramount status: appearance, the approval of others, are beginning to lose their luster. They are fading in importance, and in their place, new priorities are taking root, priorities he has always ignored: honesty, authenticity, emotional courage, and inner truth. You are not just witnessing a change in behavior, Aries. You are witnessing and causing a spiritual rebirth in this man. I don't mean that in a religious sense, but in the deepest, most sacred sense of a soul discovering who it truly is when it finally stops trying to be who it thinks it should be. It is as if he is waking up from a long, colorless dream, a dream where he was playing a character that was never really him. And you were the one who sounded the alarm, who lovingly shook him awake. The lesson you are teaching him about authenticity is spreading like a holy wildfire into every corner of his existence. He is starting to be more honest at his job about his limitations and his true needs. He is having more real, substantive conversations with his old friends. He is questioning life decisions he made based on fear rather than on truth. Your influence is creating sacred ripples that are reaching shores far beyond your specific relationship. But perhaps the most significant transformation of all is the one happening in his relationship with himself. For the very first time, he is beginning to appreciate who he truly is, rather than chasing an idealized version of who he thinks he ought to be. He is discovering that his so-called imperfections are not flaws to be hidden away in shame, but are in fact the very characteristics that make him unique, interesting, and ultimately human. Aries, you have this divine natural gift. It is the gift of cutting through the nonsense. You don't have the patience to engage with the masks people wear. Your spirit is calibrated to a higher frequency, the frequency of the soul. You perceive a person's true essence, their core energy, even when they are trying with all their might to hide it. And when you respond to that true essence, instead of the carefully constructed mask, you force them to confront the jarring difference between who they are and who they are pretending to be. That is the magic that is happening with this man. You are consistently and intuitively responding to the real person hidden deep inside, not to the charming, polished persona he has constructed for the world. And this is creating a powerful cognitive dissonance within him, a sacred tension that can only be resolved in one way. He has to make a choice. Will he continue to waste his precious energy maintaining a facade that you so clearly see through a facade that doesn't work with you? Or will he finally summon the courage to let the facade crumble to dust at his feet and stand before you and before the world as he truly is? The lesson he is learning is not just about relationships. It's about the fundamental difference between merely surviving and truly living. For years, He has survived emotionally. He kept his distance. He avoided risks. He padded the walls of his heart to protect himself from any possibility of real pain or real rejection. But survival is not living. Life is connection. Life is passion. Life is vulnerability. Life is the breathtaking courage to be seen, fully and completely. And you, my dear Aries, without even realizing it, are showing him that it is possible to live instead of just survive. You are showing him that it is possible to have relationships where you don't have to constantly perform or pretend. That it is possible to be loved for who you truly are, including all the parts you always believed were unacceptable or unlovable. The resistance you may have sensed from him, at times those moments when he pulls away or puts up a wall that is not resistance to you. Please hear this. It is his soul's resistance to the monumental change your presence is catalyzing within him. It is the primal fear of abandoning a protective system that, while limiting and deeply unsatisfying, has always kept him safe from real emotional risks. But your consistency, Aries, your unwavering, beautiful authenticity, is slowly and surely convincing him that the risk is worth it. Every single time you respond with raw honesty rather than calculated diplomacy, you are teaching him that real relationships are strong enough to withstand the truth. Every time you show your own vulnerability, your own passion, your own fire, rather than a cool, invulnerable exterior, you are demonstrating that real strength comes from emotional courage, not from emotional isolation. Every time you choose depth over superficiality, you are proving to him that the intimacy his soul craves is not a myth. It is real, and it is possible. The process this man is going through is not linear. It is not predictable. It is a spiral dance of transformation. Some days he will seem completely reborn, embracing this new way of being with a passion and enthusiasm that mirrors your own. On other days, he will retreat. He will fall back into the old familiar patterns that feel safer, more comfortable. He will put the mask back on. But even on those days of retreat, please know, the seed of authenticity you have planted continues to grow within him. It is taking root, and it cannot be undone. The final lesson you are teaching, my beautiful Aries, is perhaps the most important one of all. It is that real, lasting transformation only happens when someone finally gathers the courage to become the person they have always been, underneath all the layers, underneath all the masks. Spiritual growth isn't about becoming a different person. It is about having the courage to finally be the person you were born to be, but were afraid to show the world. This man is learning that all the energy he spent trying to manage how other people saw him could have been used to know, accept, and love himself. That all the superficial relationships he maintained to feel safe actually left him feeling more alone than if he had simply been by himself. He is learning that the vulnerability he always avoided is in fact the sacred gateway to everything his heart has ever truly wanted: real connection, authentic love, and a deep abiding inner peace. The transformation you are catalyzing in him will extend far beyond your relationship. It will change the very trajectory of his life. It will affect how he relates to everyone from this day forward. It will change the kind of people he attracts and allows into his life. It will influence the kind of career opportunities he seeks and accepts. You are quite literally changing his destiny. And you are doing all of this simply by having the courage to be authentically you. But perhaps the most beautiful and balancing part of this cosmic dance is that this lesson is not a one-way street. While you are teaching him about authenticity, courage, and the power of truth, He is in his own way teaching you. He is teaching you about patience. He is teaching you about compassion. As an Aries, your nature is to move fast, to conquer, to blaze forward. He is showing you what it looks like to be with someone who is learning to be real after years of living artificially. And this requires a level of patience that may be a new spiritual muscle for you to develop. He is giving you the profound opportunity to be a healing, stabilizing force in someone's life simply by holding the steady flame of your own truth. The lesson you are unwittingly teaching will resonate in this man's life for years and even generations to come. It will influence how he raises his children, if he has them. It will change how he treats his co-workers. It will redefine how he chooses future partners. You are planting seeds of authenticity that will grow into a magnificent forest, spreading in ways you can't even begin to imagine right now. And one day, when he has finally and fully integrated this lesson, when he consistently becomes the real, powerful, authentic person you always saw in him, he will look back on this time, and he will realize that you were the one. You were the one who taught him that it was possible to live without masks. You were the one who showed him that real soul-deep relationships exist. And you were the one who, by shining your own light so brightly, showed him that he deserved to have access to them too. Aries, stay exactly who you are. Do not dim your fire for anyone. Keep speaking your truth. Keep choosing depth over convenience. Keep blazing your magnificent trail. Because without even realizing it, you are changing lives. You are healing a world that is desperately thirsty for authenticity. Your courage to be real is a sacred gift, a beacon of hope that reminds us all that it is possible to be exactly who we are and still be deeply, completely, and unconditionally loved. If you recognized yourself in this sacred description, if you realize now that you are truly teaching someone a profound lesson simply by being you, I invite you to share your experience in the comments. You don't need to give any private details, but tell us what it has been like to witness this transformation in someone. Your words can inspire other Aries souls to step into and appreciate the incredible transformative power they naturally carry. And please make sure you are subscribed to Astrology Unlocked. Your innate ability to catalyze authentic transformations in others is just the beginning of a much deeper understanding of your own spiritual power. You will need guidance on how to navigate these powerful dynamics, how to maintain your own beautiful energetic balance while helping others grow, and how to recognize when a soul is truly ready for the profound lessons your spirit can teach. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the content that will help you understand and consciously wield your divine gift of cutting through the masks and responding to a person's true essence. Your authenticity is a healing force in this world, my beautiful Aries. And the more you understand this power, the more intentionally you can use it to create positive, lasting change all around you. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for allowing me to share this sacred message with you. It has been a true gift. I wish you an abundance of joy, courage, and unwavering success on your beautiful path. Until next time, keep shining and keep blazing your trail.